Guys, never again will I come to the airport looking ugly. I'm looking good right now, okay? When I tell you, I know pretty privilege is real, but pretty privilege at the airport, my luck.
Pretty privilege? We've all heard the term, but what does it actually mean? Is it really a superpower, or is it more complicated than that? In today's video, we're diving into the pros and cons of pretty privilege, from the perks that can open doors to the downsides that no one really talks about much. We're going to explore both sides of the conversations, so grab a drink, settle in, and let's get into it.
My luggage, 5 kg overweight. They did not even blink an eye. I mean, he saw it. He was like, oh, you're overweight. He was like, it's fine. Then I was flying with Ryanair, yeah, and I didn't have priority, so obviously only allowed one bag. This is all my bags. And the girl was so sweet, and she was like, no, it's fine. And then when I went through security, the guys were just staring me up and down, and they made sure I went through quicker. Oh, and on my way here, multiple people helped me carry my bags. And on the way to my gate, there were 2 beautiful girls, and they just stopped me. Were like, oh my God, you're beautiful. I was like, oh my God, you're beautiful. Moral of the story, look hot at all times.
Whole Hayat situation has got me deep in. A lot of women don't know the difference between pretty privilege and pussy privilege. A lot of women don't understand the difference between pretty privilege and pussy privilege. Men will spend, if they think at the end of the night their panini is going to be soaked in your ocean. That's not pretty privilege. That is entering the access into the vajayjay. Yeah, pretty privilege is like us that receive pretty privilege, we don't even speak on it. You would not even see us on the internet going pretty privilege, because being pretty has become a way of life that has made things accessible to us. Do you understand? I'm a pretty gal with a big belly, but I know what pretty privilege is because that's my aura. I don't need to brag about it because I know when I go places, I get things. And now I need to decipher, is it pussy they looking, or do they generally think?
For the women who are beautiful, kind, successful, intelligent, wise, creative, if you are beyond a triple threat, you're quadruple, the list goes on, this video is for you, because I know what it's like to struggle. It's very lonely, and I'm seeing more and more TikToks about this, how when you're a beautiful woman, and not just beautiful physically, but just your energy, your aura, you're wise, you're intelligent, you're talented, you have so much to you, it makes you a target. And yes, pretty privilege is real, right? Like when you're beautiful, you are really magnetic. That's something that's very obvious. You become very magnetic, you get a lot of great opportunities, people really like you, people are drawn to you, but people fail to realize you don't just get that. You also get the opposite end, which is envy, which is people trying to sabotage your life, people spreading rumors, people really trying to either get close to you and try to ruin your life, people trying to see like who you really are and like if you're faking who you are. People saying negative things about you all the time, people making false assumptions about you. I don't um I don't think that's bad, right? I think that it's just the price you pay, right? Like if you're going to have all those things, if you're going to be the kind, the beautiful, the magnetic, the whatever, all these amazing things, you have to realize that a lot of people are not those things. And I do think that a lot of people can become them. But if you don't see yourself as capable, if you don't see your own beauty, if you're not pouring into yourself, if you don't see yourself as worthy of pouring into your health and your appearance and whatever it is that you want to do for yourself, you're never going to get there. But the thing with us is that we know our worth. And because we know our worth, people can see our worth because it's felt in our energy. It's being reflected out, right? So, anyway, I've realized that when you are this type of person, this type of woman, you need to really protect yourself. Protect yourself from toxic relationships, toxic friendships, toxic work environments, toxic bosses, toxic family members. Everyone, even the people who you thought would be your best friends, you thought would be the greatest people, they end up turning their backs on you because they're intimidated by you, they're jealous of you, they're not capable of being inspired by you and wanting to learn from you. They are intimidated and project their insecurities onto you. And so I've seen so many videos on my For You page of women saying how they struggle with this and how lonely it is and how they can't really make friends. They struggle in love sometimes too. And I'm there, I'm there with you. Luckily, I've found a great man, but I have met many men who were very intimidated by me and wanted to humble me and water me down and make me question my worth. I've had friendships who these women have done the same thing, have despite like hated me, like really just did not like me at all, then suddenly wanted to be my best friend. Then once they got close to me, started to pick things about my appearance to try to bring me down. It's like, I know what you're doing. And it's not going to work because it's happened so many times where now I can see it crystal clearly when someone is just envious of me. Um, and today, still, it happens. And it's really unfortunate because it's from people who sometimes you least expect it to happen. And it can feel very lonely, especially when you don't have anyone to talk to about it. You don't have people to really explain it to. And, you know, men like my husband, they don't get it, right? Because I don't think that men have this. Like, yeah, of course, men have like competition and stuff, but I feel like women are far more envious, especially when it comes to if you're a very beautiful woman and attractive, because it means, you're getting more male attention and like deep down inside, like subconsciously and like in our biology, that matters, right? Like we're always trying to do things for the opposite sex. Um it triggers women, and women have this a lot, right? Cuz our looks matter to us.
So I just came across a post of this guy who was saying, the most beautiful women he knows, the most attractive women do not post themselves. They usually just post like funny memes or like, funny stuff. But like, why aren't y'all posting your faces? We want to see your beautiful faces. Let me tell you two things. Number one, the most beautiful, the most attractive women you will ever meet are not photogenic. Why? They already know that they are gorgeous. They never had to train themselves to look good in pictures. Versus, y'all gonna get mad at this, the people who are not as attractive in person are extremely photogenic. Why? Because they know they're not attractive in person. So the way to grab people's attention is to train themselves over years. They have trained themselves to know the best poses, the best looks, the best lighting, the best everything in order to look attractive. Okay? Number two, we tired of being lusted over. Bye.
Pretty privilege is real, but it's also the biggest trap for women. Yes, being attractive opens doors, people stare, people listen, people give you opportunities quicker. But here's the ugly truth. If all you have is pretty, the world only values you until someone prettier walks in. Real power is when your beauty is irrelevant because your value runs deeper. Look at it this way. Pretty privilege buys attention, but money, intelligence, and status buys respect, and respect lasts longer than looks ever will. The most dangerous position for a woman is to believe that her face is her future. Because the glow up that really matters isn't in your jawline or your eyelashes, it's in your bank account. It's in your bank statements, your reputation, and the fact that no one can replace you. Pretty privilege might get you in the room, but substance is what keeps you in there.
Pretty punishment is a figment of your imagination. It does not exist. It does not exist. Like reverse colorism. You're not experiencing colorism because you're light skinned. And yes, I saw that video of that interesting looking Hyella woman with the light hair, the light eyes on my timeline, talking about how, pretty privilege is real. However, people used to hate on her because of her skin, her eye colors, and how we shouldn't be mad at her. We should be mad at our parents because what? Because what? Because I don't have light eyes. You know what's crazy? I don't have light eyes. I don't even have the, I guess, eyes that people, but I always get told, oh my God, you have beautiful eyes. Because it has nothing to do with the color of your eyes. Just like it has nothing to do with the color of your skin. You can be light skinned and ugly. Oh! Who would have thunk it? You can be light skinned and ugly. You can have light eyes and be ugly. You can have loose curly hair and be ugly. You can be dark skinned and pretty. And it's not some rare occurrence where it's like you see a dark skinned woman and it's like, oh my God, why are you so pretty? I swear, colonization has done a number on y'all. And it is still, and for that woman to be of such an age category and have learned nothing is quite disappointing.
The amount of stuff you can get away with if you're attractive is literally so insane. And everyone talks about women pretty privilege, but no one ever talks about guy pretty privilege. I think if the unattractive guys tried to do the things that attractive guys did to girls, they would be called out for harassment. But if an attractive guy did what unattractive guys did, it would be considered cute. I feel like attractive guys have kind of like a act like an asshole card that they could use whenever they want because they have a pretty face. And they have unlimited ways on how to hit on women without being a creep. Whereas unattractive guys have to be more slow about it. They have to be more nonchalant and sneaky about hitting on a girl. They also can't be arrogant and rude, where a lot of attractive guys get away with being rude because they get so many girls. Now, the difference between an attractive guy and an attractive girl is like so different. An attractive girl, sometimes like they don't get guys. They get rejected because people get jealous of them or they're really intimidated or they're jealous. And it's just really hard to be an attractive girl. But for an attractive guy, literally it's like living on the red carpet with silver platters of opportunities handed to you constantly. You can be and do whatever you want. You have all the confidence in the world. People want to talk to you. People want to approach you. I feel kind of wrong saying this, but it's almost better to be an unattractive girl and an attractive guy because life is just easier that way.
Nobody talks about the struggles of being so beautiful. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. And you can miss us with the video. You can miss us with the video about how beautiful and pretty you are and how stressful life is and how you can't make no friends and how everybody hates you and how everybody jealous of you. And every time you're in a friend group, you go out and you get all the attention and everybody just hates you. So, like, let it go. That gotta be the most annoying topic that I see on TikTok. And then you wonder why you can't build no following. Every one of your videos is surrounded around what you look like. Every video about the struggles of pretty privilege. Nobody wants to hear about that. Nobody wants to hear about that. Nobody wants to constantly keep hearing it except other women who delusional and thinking that the problems that they having in their life got to do with their looks. When the reality is just them being intolerable women to be around and just people just don't like them as people. And clearly it makes sense why people don't like you, right? Your whole personality is built around what you look like. You got a whole page dedicated to talking about what you look like. It's annoying. Worst topic ever.
When you are really beautiful, you go beyond having pretty privilege and you may even lose your pretty privilege because it transfers into pretty punishment. And the reason why you may always end up being single is because in your dating life, people project their own insecurities and even their own anger onto you because they already have a perceived image, notion about who you are, literally based on your beauty, on your face card. Of course, it's amazing to be beautiful, and of course, it's something that you should be grateful for. And yes, there will be certain times when you can go throughout the day having pretty privilege, but when you are super, super beautiful, you are not going to be protected from pretty punishment. And when you're dating men, because of how beautiful you are, you can attract the wrong men, and these players will get thrills out of rejecting you, out of embarrassing you, out of humbling you, because they look at you and they think, oh, you're too confident. You think you know everything. You think you can get anyone you want. So let me show you who's the boss, and let me show you what I can do and how miserable I can make you. And here's the thing, you could be an amazing, sweet, lovely person, but because you are beautiful, really beautiful, people are jealous and they want to naturally humble you. I would definitely recommend to take my princess treatment course on my website, So You Only Date Kings. But whenever you are sensing jealousy from friends or from dating partners, and you can tell it's simply by your looks, take a step back, because these people will get thrills out of trying to humble you.
So first off, let me say that this is mostly true. This is absolutely mostly true. I think that people who are attractive and they complain about being attractive in a general sense are just vying for more attention. I think that is just normally what goes on. However, in some situations, pretty privilege or being very attractive can be a detriment. And now I will say I do experience it in some ways, more so body wise, because I am thick, like I am the slim thick type of frame, but I don't, not enough for me to be even have a conversation about it. You know what I mean? But I had a homegirl. She was a work homegirl. So we was really, really close at work. And then we didn't have no relationship outside of work. Like, you know, one of those situations. And she was gorgeous. She's a lesbian. She was gorgeous, but she presented more so, androgynous or more masculine or whatever. So other women, I don't care if they were straight, if they was, lesbians, they was bi, I don't care. They loved her. I'm talking about just on after her. So initially when we started getting cool, she would tell me that women at work were harassing her. Keep in mind, she had a girlfriend that she loved very, very much, right? So women at work were harassing her and so on and so forth. So I'm just like, girl, like, take the compliment and go, sis. Like, it's not that deep. So as we're getting closer now and she's still complaining about it, I'm like, nah, like, there's something to this. Let me pay attention. I see women dropping off handwritten notes. She made me read some of them. I'm talking about they were so crazy, out of this world type of stuff. I see women, leaving food, leaving gifts. They send her Teams messages and all types of stuff. And she is not, at least from what I can see, she's not like leading them on. She's not really coercing this type of behavior, right? So I'm like, all right, this is kind of strange. So now we start going to lunch together every now and again because we cool. Like sometimes we may leave work together because we're off at the same time. So we walking out, ha ha, he. Women started sending me Teams, asking me what me and her had going on, telling me to leave her alone because they want her, all that type of stuff. And then something I learned about her was that she actually transferred into the department that we were in. It was a promotion, but part of the reason they even put her on the top priority for promotion was because of a sexual harassment thing that she was dealing with in her previous department, where she had to file sexual harassment against a few people. Right? So I do feel like some people, majority of people who are good looking, if they complain about being good looking, it's just for attention. But there are a few who do go through things like this, and it can definitely be a hindrance.
Let's be real. You get treated differently when you're pretty. And if you say you don't, you're either lying or you're benefiting from it. Let's not sugarcoat it. Pretty privilege is real. The way you look literally shifts the way the world reacts to you. People smile at you more, you get out of tickets, job interviews are easier, you're easy to work with, or more professional, or more trustworthy. And based on what? A face? And it's deeper than just Instagram likes. It's about survival, status, and opportunity. Let's take it a step further, shall we? If you're attractive and light-skinned or skinny, you're golden. But if you're dark-skinned, disabled, or plus size, or just don't fit the mold, you're suddenly too much, too loud, too difficult. That's not a coincidence. That's bias. The difference in how someone gets treated just by their looks is insane. An attractive girl will get called confident, but if somebody else did it, they're doing too much. And I'm not knocking attractive people. This is reality. The world is shallow. People respond to beauty. The problem is when you act like it's earned, like being pretty automatically means you're better. It doesn't. It means you got lucky in a society that places looks over value. And if you've never experienced the opposite, that means you're privileged. So stop gaslighting people who hasn't had it easy.
Don't invite me out nowhere with you if you one of them bitches that like to beg. Like, you just expect for a man to pay for every fucking thing. Like, some of y'all really be pressing the pretty privilege shit, and I don't think y'all really understand, like, what pretty privilege really means. Like, bitch, either you have it or you don't. Like, when you're pretty privileged, shit is going to just flock to you. Like, and you just have to roll with the punches. Like, if niggas don't want to pay for your entryway into the club, so fucking be it. It doesn't matter. That's why you got to keep you some money. Don't go out nowhere with no money. Are you crazy? And another thing, stop making yourself seem like you're bigger than the fucking program. I had a homegirl one time say that, oh yeah, I don't wait in lines. I just go right into the club. Girl, them goddamn bouncers, and they don't give a fuck about none of that shit. Tell me why she tried to go to the front of the fucking line. That nigga sent her to the back of the line. You're just like anybody else in this motherfucker. If you don't turn your ass around to get in line, you ain't nobody up in here.
There's not a lot of conversation about the disadvantages of being attractive. One, as a woman, you will have a hard ass time making friends. I've met people who gravitate towards me because I'm attractive, because they think in proximity they will get some of my privileges. I've had friends that cut me off out of the blue for literally no reason. I have friends that have told me to humble myself. It's gonna be hard to date. I've met men who just want to be with me to be a trophy. I've had boyfriends who have not been able to deal with the amount of attention I get and therefore take it out on me. I've been stalked. I've been followed home. I've been stalked by ex-boyfriends. I've been groped. I've been graped. I've been assaulted. I've been through a lot because I'm attractive. It's not for the weak. And when people talk about pretty privilege, yes, I will get a free meal. I will get free entry. I will get preferential treatment. A lot of times I don't have to pay for stuff. That's great. But I wouldn't say it's comparable to the amount of detriments being attractive has put me in. Lord knows I'm very grateful that my mother picked an attractive sperm donor that gave me this face, but it has definitely made life a bit more challenging. When you are an attractive person, especially an attractive woman, you will need to walk around and protect yourself physically, mentally, everyly from everyone, because they will be attracted to you. They will be coming for different reasons, and you're gonna have to be able to keep them away. As a woman who's attractive, you need to learn how to defend yourself. I'm in the gym 5 times a week, getting strong as fuck in case somebody walks up on me, they're gonna get. You need to learn how to read people. You need to pay attention to your surroundings. You need to not get gas late at night. You need to be on your P's and Q's, and you need to be extremely intelligent. I once had someone pretend to be a business, sent me an email saying that they would fly me and my brand, I have a swimsuit line, to another country to do a photo shoot. Everything seemed extremely legitimate. They even sent photos of other women that will be attending the event. They fucked up because one of the women in the photos is someone I know. I messaged them. They had no idea what I was talking about. This pervert was trying to lure me out to another country to do God knows what with me. This is what you get for being attractive.
I know that this is going to rub some people up the wrong way, but I have to talk about this. Pretty privilege is a real thing, and anybody who says it doesn't exist is just spoiled, and they want attention, and they don't want to acknowledge that life is a little bit easier for them because of how they look. Let's talk about it. Hi guys, I'm Deborah Lyon, the voice of marketing, and you're fit in all things marketing, brand building, business mindset, and sometimes pop culture. So you can see it's in the evening. I just got home from a dinner thing that I went to with a couple of people, and when I tell you, right, and I'm not even trying to be weird, like, I didn't know growing up that I was considered pretty by people. I thought I was just an ugly little girl, nerdy girl, you know? So I never moved through life using my looks because I didn't think they were valuable. Then I became an adult, and like literally men would like approach me, and women would keep telling me I look pretty, and I'm like, are you sure you're talking to me? You know? So this is me saying literally from a perspective of someone who didn't know that they even had pretty privilege. But then I look at certain things in my life where I'm like, oh, I went here and I was treated better, and I didn't even realize. So for example, the one time I went, I mean, there's a restaurant that I love to go to. And then a friend of mine went with other people, and then she said to me, Labs, this restaurant sucks. And I said, you can't be real. They have the best service, da 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 da. She says, maybe they give you the best service, but we don't get the best service when we go. So I said, okay, look, come with me and let's see how it goes. They came with me, and she was like, it's night and day. Everything you're getting here, we never even got offered. And I was like, but they offer it to everybody. She said, no, they don't. And it never clicked to me, because my lived experience at that establishment is that it's the perks. I didn't even know. So it's like small things like that that make your life much easier, and you're not even aware of it, because to you, that's normal, right? It's normal, and you perceive that everybody else is having that, so you don't even know it's pretty privilege. You're assuming it's the standard of the establishment until you meet people who say, no, we don't get treated like that. So all I'm trying to say is that, unfortunately, looks are a currency. You could be pretty in one place and not pretty in another place. For women, not for men. It's a different story. With men, it's the currency, but in a different way. And we have to acknowledge that women who are considered pretty get treated differently. And if you're a woman with pretty privilege, I would advise you don't have to, but I would advise you to use that to also uplift other women, instead of just acting like it doesn't exist and you're some victim because they're saying life is easier for you. Be honest, life is easier. Yes, you have other struggles, but life is easier for you when it comes to certain things. I did not know people struggled with good service at restaurants most of the time, or like bouncers being mean, because I always get treated well. Right? So we have to acknowledge these things and then bring our sisters into our circle when we can. Let me know, do you experience pretty privilege? What are the privileges you have? And when did you realize that you have pretty privilege? Let's talk about it. Mwah.
Okay, I have one final thing to say about this pretty privilege topic, and then I'm gonna hang the whole thing up. Yeah, I think it's really, really sad if you genuinely go out into the world and believe that any negative interaction you have with a woman is because she's jealous of you. Accountability nowhere to be seen, self-awareness nowhere to be seen. Maybe you're just not good vibes, maybe you're bad vibes, maybe you're not a nice person to be around. Have you maybe thought it might be that? But it's always jumping straight to, she must be jealous of me. This is known as confirmation bias, by the way. The idea that when you think of something in your head, you will start to see it more and more in the world. Like if you tell me a story about a yellow car and I go out into the world, I'll probably see more yellow cars because you've told me that story this morning. The only advice that I would give to the women that think this way is stop it, because you are missing out on such amazing, beautiful connections with women. My best friendships in the world are with women. So let's stop doing the rudeness and let's all be lovely to each other.
Pretty privilege is a thing, but it has its expiration date. It has its limitations, okay? I think we've all seen several instances where beautiful women are cheated on, okay? Where beautiful women who have families with the men, so it doesn't matter that they sacrifice their lives to bring these children, you know, here on like into earth or whatever. It doesn't matter. They got cheated on. Okay, I hope we can understand, especially as women, that looks are not going to save you in that department. There's a lot of chatter going around about Miracle Watts and about Tyler having a history where he never committed to, you know, the woman that, you know, birthed his first two children and whatnot, and how she supposedly expected for things to be different, maybe because she's beautiful. I think a lot of people are definitely putting words in her mouth and insinuating a lot of stuff. But regardless, the fact that Miracle Watts is not yet married truly is nobody's business, right? But again, her looks were never going to get her a ring. If that man is not marriage-minded, he is simply put not marrying you. It does not matter how beautiful you are, and we can all agree that Miracle Watts is absolutely gorgeous. She's definitely what people can refer to as like a very coveted Black beauty. Has been just long the apple of a lot of men's eye, like when it comes to like Black culture, and it doesn't mean anything. Beyonce got cheated on, y'all. Halle Berry got cheated on. It really does not matter who you are. Pretty privilege has its perks. People are nicer to you. There are some things that you can expect to come with pretty privilege, but you cannot ever get someone who is not marriage-minded to marry you. Like, that pretty doesn't do that. And if they do marry you, it doesn't guarantee you loyalty. It doesn't guarantee you commitment. So let's all learn, one, to mind our business, Two, not to be fully like confident in the idea that is pretty privilege. Like, have more going for you. Let's all focus on not being so romance centered anyways, where everything is about a ring and everything is about this and that. Like, let's make sure outside of relationships we have other goals, but let's just be sure that in relationships we're being grounded, that our looks and maybe the wealth that we have, it's not enough to make a person be loyal to who you are as a person, because looks will fade, but a person's heart, loyalty, and their intentions, that's already set from the core. And a lot of people said how you got them is how you lose them. I don't know nothing about how she got him or anything like that. All I'm here to say is pretty privilege has limitations, okay? Pretty privilege does not automatically guarantee you a seat at certain tables. And even if you are sat at certain tables, sometimes you are told to raise the fuck up, okay? So hopefully we all learn something about pretty privilege and its limitations. And also, we don't know what the fuck's going on in other people's lives. So, bye.
The thing I don't think y'all understand is that when somebody gets on this app and tells you how pretty privilege is a real thing, and y'all don't believe them, that says more about you than it says about that person. Because people who are attractive understand that pretty privilege is a real thing, and we suffer from it daily, okay? The fact that you don't understand that things are happening to you for your own merit, or if it's because somebody thinks you look good, that could drive you crazy. I literally go crazy. Am I good at my job, or does my boss just want a buck? Like, you feel me? And then when we get on here, we try to express ourselves. You say, y'all start clowning us and shit. Like, y'all don't know what we go through. It's a real thing. And I suffer from it daily.
Hey, so public service announcement from a average looking woman. Pretty privilege is not a man putting gas in your car. Pretty privilege is not a man buying you a drink. Pretty privilege is not a man lusting after you, okay? If that was the case, a woman that looked like me, I would have never experienced that. Those are just results of a man looking to smash, all right? Y'all are mixing up pretty privileges with a man just wanting to smash, okay? You don't have to be pretty when a man's looking to stick something in something, all right? So pretty privilege is when you're getting a privilege that you normally, like, no normal looking woman could get, okay? A man giving you attention is not a pretty privilege, okay? I get attention from men, and I am not the prettiest woman out there. I'm very average, probably even below average looking. So I just wanted to add my 2 cents into the conversation, because a lot of women are confusing pretty privilege with a man just looking to smash, and y'all got it all wrong.
This is probably relatable, but I don't want to be someone who relates to this. But when I see a top-tiered baddie, I'm talking face card, body card, everything, this is a 10 out of 10. When I see that kind of baddie, I'll sit there and be like, oh my God, she looks so good. I'm so happy that she looks so great. That's so great. But as soon as I hear that she had some kind of work done, I'm sorry, my heart does a little flip for joy. And I rejoice just in my head, in like the deepest crevices of the mind. And I had to get that off my chest. I'm sorry. I do that, and I know it's bad, and I check myself, but I do that. And I don't think it should be that way, because it should be that I can see a girl and she's fine, and she's gorgeous, and it doesn't matter if she got work done or not. 1, she's still bad regardless, she still looks that way. And 2, like, who cares? I look great too. But there's just something about it. I think that TikTok has created a space where we're just so hyper exposed to fine people, and it feels like they're competition. Like, these are real people, and there are so many of them, and you don't feel like you're one of them. When really, a lot of them really don't exist. A lot of this is filters and editing, and occasionally, yes, it's work being done. And also, their beauty does nothing to your beauty. It doesn't take from you. You're still you. You still have all the features that you love. You're still unique, and that is important. # love yourself. Yes.
You can't be hanging out with ugly people if you're pretty. It's just not going to work out. And I'm sorry I had to be the one to say it, but it's just the same story over and over again. And you can sit here and be like, well, the most beautiful people are the most horrible. But what you don't realize is that girl doesn't think that she's more beautiful than you. She knows you're not a gimmick. You're the real deal. You're the blueprint. And that's why she sabotages you. You need a pretty face with a pretty soul, pretty vibes only, no uglies allowed.
All right, people. Peace to the gods and the goddesses and those in between. Let's talk about this pretty privilege thing, because I think that you all have it misconstrued. Pretty privilege does not mean people hate on you. Of course, because you're pretty, people will hate on you. But the privilege part, that's the part you pay attention to, because y'all have a way of twisting words and making it sound like something that is not when it already has a definition. So privilege means you're giving some extra treatment that normally would not be given to you. And so if you're experiencing privileges, that would mean getting things for free, getting more quantities of something that someone else would not normally get, getting attention where you win and you end up on top. That's pretty privilege, okay?
So, what do you think? Is pretty privilege a blessing, a curse, or a little bit of both? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below, because this is one of those topics where everyone's experience is different. And if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. It really helps the channel to grow and keeps these conversations going. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.